Hey guys, Property Coach Edmund here, and I believe because previously you have turned on the notification bell and subscribed to this channel and video before, that's why you're getting this first-hand, off-the-shelf, latest exclusive information regarding a few things. Number one, I'm going to share with you what is the River Modern starting price that we just gotten it, and you are the one of the first few to actually see it and know and understand how is this pricing going to affect you as a property owner if you are purchasing River Modern. All right, so the official price, starting price is already out. And later on in this video, I'll be also covering three things. Okay, first, for the starting price, usually is it actually true of what they reflected? All right, what does starting from pricing and the official price actually means? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a few developments to kind of give you a glimpse of how other developers have priced it, as well as how they do their marketing. We're going to deep dive into actually when they show us the starting price, which unit, which facing, which type of properties actually is that price. Okay, so we're going to use some developments and do some comparison. So the question is, whatever pricing that they put out, is it really that cheap? All right, so that's number one that we're going to go through. Second thing is, you also, because of you who are subscribing to this channel, I'm going to show you the first time view. All right, you are the first group that's going to see the 30 meters drone view as well as the 130 meters drone view of how River Modern is going to be if you are selecting the lower floors or even the higher floor. So remember to subscribe, because this is where you see the first time, and take some time to kind of like the video, subscribe it, turn on the bell, so that every single week when we are doing videos like this, you get the latest update. All right, and last but not least, I will have the full dimensions of all the layouts, okay? And I'm going to give you guys a summary of all the 2 bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms, as well as the 4 bedrooms, when they are comparing to each other, which type of layout is my top choice. So stay tuned, and I'll be sharing with you these 3 things. And if you have not subscribed, this is your best time to do it. All right, so officially, we have River Modern's pricing out, and it's starting from 2008 XX per square foot. All right, so this is usually how developers, they want to draw in the buyers to let them know that this is a very attractive price, because your 2 bedroom is only starting from 1.548 million, and your 3 bedroom starting close to 2.3 million, and your 4 bedroom will be starting from 4.588 million, and that's where the PSF indication is. I believe when you see numbers like this, first of all, as a buyer, you may want to kind of jump straight into it, because the per square foot is expected. A lot of people have been highlighting that the per square foot should be hovering between the 2009 to 3001 range. And if you today, you can go and visit the other videos that I also put out in terms of my projection. What is the estimated per square foot that you should basically just walk away? So with the 2008 to 3000 per square foot range, I believe this is where my research and analysis around the areas do give us an indication that the launch price should be around there. So we are very much in tune with how the developers are seeing it, because we run not just by guessing, we do it by research and data and numbers. So how many of you are super excited that the River Modern pricing is this? So fun fact is that, is this really the actual price that you're going to get for your units? All right, so this is the number one questions a lot of homeowners, they reach out to us and they say that, oh, a lot of times when they went for the balloting, they thought that the pricing is this because they have advertised and marketed this, and when they go there, everything is higher and out of their reach. So then they go back disappointed. So how many of you actually have fallen into this trap, that you think that the prices are cheap for a start, and that's why you go down to the show flat, you put in your interest, and then at the end of the day, during the selection day, basically everything tumbles down and the prices is not even near where you are. So in a short while, right, I'm going to uncover how developers are actually doing this starting pricing using a few developments as an example. What are their advertising starting from price when they launch, as well as the actual sales prices when the launch day as well as a booking day. All right, so we're going to uncover a few developments like that. So in the meantime, if today you kind of want to discover and disqualify 90% of the new launches out there that may not be suitable for your objective, or even that today you are very concerned that you're buying based on hype, emotions, or pressure, then I really strongly encourage you to actually scan the QR code, because one of the strategy that we do is never to go buying into emotions, but using research data and numbers to guide us to have a certain support, because there are so many different launches coming out, not just River Modern. We have upcoming this year itself, many different launches. And for the past 2 to 3 years, if you have been chasing launches, maybe this is the best time for you to kind of sit down, get a second opinion from us, and start deciding instead of chasing. Okay, so let me just use, first of all, Zion Grand as an example. All right, so Zion Grand, when they started, everybody knows that they actually, at this current moment, has already sold 88%. Okay, 88% of the units has been sold. And when they were marketing this, nearing to the launch day and as well as the booking day, they indicated their 1 bedroom, 1 plus study, starting from price is 1.298 million. Okay, so did they actually translate this into actual sales? All right, so this is also some of the developers' strategy, and I'm going to uncover and go behind the scene and share with you. So they did actually go for a 1.298 million. So everything as it is, but do take note, this is a second floor unit. All right, for a 1 bedroom 474 unit, stack 11, which means is here. Okay, this is the stack facing. Basically you are facing where you are facing the entrance of your drop-off point. Okay, so then the question is, will you be interested to even purchase this unit, especially at this kind of price point? So that's where confusion will comes in, right? Because you do have your basic needs and wants, and maybe your personal preferences that you don't want to go for a second floor unit that is facing the drop-off point because it may be very busy, but ultimately it's still sold. All right, and at an attractive price of 1.298. And if you can see from here, every other floor levels, they also have increased in prices, about 13,000 to 15,000 climb. So this is where the starting from price usually indicates the lowest floor. I wouldn't call it the lousiest facing, but I would say if you have to compare, you have to compare the not so good facing and the lowest floor. That likely would be your starting price. So coming back to River Modern, then chances are the starting price from whatever they advertise could be the lowest floor with no view. All right, so this is something that you as a homeowner, you need to expect that this is going to happen. All right, not going in and hope that, wow, this is the pricing and prices are going to keep coming down. All right, so then there will be a mismatch in terms of your reality, right? So this is what happens to Zion Grand for 1 bedroom. So let us take a look at their 2 bedroom, right, and see what is the process like. All right, so if you start looking at Zion Grand 2 bedroom, they indicated their 2 bedroom is from 1.468 million, and if you start seeing this, they actually started from the 3rd floor at 1.477 million. All right, so it's higher. But then the interesting part is we have all the sales for 3, 4, 5, 6 floor, and some of them are only an increment about $5,000. Okay, so this is also a huge differences, right, that we also want to help you whenever we do the selection, because per floor jump does play a huge part in terms of your decision making. And for Zion Grand, I believe because it's a very tall development, right, so they will also want to make it very easily achievable by not loading too much on per floor. Can you imagine if per floor is 20,000 or even 15,000? Then those who are buying the higher floor, likely they will be priced out. So this is also one of the developer strategy that they did it at 1.468 million. So I want to draw one very interesting findings that we have, right? So if we start looking at the 3rd floor that they sold at 1.477 million, okay, and can you see that the 2nd floor unit actually sold much higher at 1.513 million? All right, so why would this happen? It's because a lot of buyers, maybe they just don't want to have the lowest floor, you see, and that's why you can see all the 3 to 9 floor being taken up. And when this buyer sees that, the higher, maybe the 10th floor onward units are a little bit too pricey to them, or maybe it's not within their budget anymore, then they just accepted for the 2nd floor, although they are paying higher price. do the buyer know whether they have paid for the higher price? This really depends on whether you are being advised on having a very clear strategy in terms of your pricing and going into the market. And later I'll share with you a short while like how do we actually do that for our clients even before you go into the battlefield. Okay, I like to call selection day battlefield, because if you are not prepared, I can almost 100% guarantee you're going to be lost, you're going to be confused, you're going to be so stressed up, and you're going to have the FOMO emotional effect. All right, so in the short while, I'll show you how are we helping our clients usually in this kind of situation. All right, so because you don't want to be this situation where you are on a lower floor, but basically you're paying higher than the rest of the floor levels. Then when doing resale, you will be putting yourself at a disadvantage. All right. So let's take a look at 3-bedroom right now. So again, Zion Grand has done extremely well at about 87% sold till date. All right. And if you look at for the 3-bedroom, they indicated starting from price is 2.2 million. And that's why you can see that their starting price for second floor is at 2.2 million. So for Zion Grand developers, they have indicated whatever they put it out in terms of marketing is as it is. All right, and that is usually the lowest floor and the kind of facing that you cannot expect the very nice facing. Like, okay, but out of all the facing, they will always choose the not so the second priority facing as their starting price. All right, so this is of course one of the strategy that developers adopt. And if you can see for this one, their climb is also about 10,000 to 15,000, about 10,000. So depending on how developers look per floor, this is something you also need to take note of. So let us take a look at another development, right? This is Promenade Peak. All right, so Promenade Peak has basically sold 67%. All right, 67% till date. And their 2-bedroom, I'm just using 2-bedroom. Their starting from price is actually from 2.8 million. And from, PSF is 2008 plus per square foot. And their pricing for the starting from is $1.8 million. So let us see what it translates into 2-bedroom pricing. All right, so 1.8 million for Zion Grand. For their 5th floor, they transacted at 1.78 million. And the second floor one are all above 1.8 million. And the difference is only like what, 6,000? Okay, 6,000 kind of indication. So even if they put 1.8x, you must know that x is whatever that they want to put in. So it usually is as high as possible, right? So they want to use some of all these numbers to basically draw your attention, you know, so that you will be interested to also visit the show flat and give yourself permission to kind of take a look and see whether you have a chance to purchase those property. All right, so just always take note that today, from a pricing perspective, because right now we are able to kind of reverse engineer and try and see how developers price it. But you as a homeowner, you also must do your due diligence and homework every single time. And if you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, you don't have access into research and data, then how about reaching out to us so that we can kind of give you information to help you make a better informed decision. So that's what we do. And let's take a look at the 3-bedroom. So 3-bedroom, right, they have the 3 plus study and 3-bedroom. So they're starting from 2.7 million. Okay, and then of course the premium ones are all starting from 3.6 million. So we're just going to use the 3-bedroom as an indication. So if you look at 3-bedroom, right, their starting price is actually from 2.79 million, and this is on the 3rd floor. Again, the same strategy, should I say the same outcome for buyers who have no plans, they did not prepare for themselves, and they did not actually study the pricing during the launch day. They will fall into the same situation as the 2nd floor who bought more expensive. Okay, you may say that the difference is not a lot, so maybe the 3rd floor unit owner don't want to sell, but ultimately transaction prices nowadays are very are transparent. So your next buyer will definitely know what kind of margin you have bought into, and they will use that as a bargaining chip with you. All right, so this is what we have seen in recent years, especially Singapore data are so transparent that it allowed us to have a better references, a better strategy on how we should do it. So in the resale market, since you are also using comparison for transactions, why is it that during launch ballot, you could be so confused as to not understand how pricing is like to determine which is the best value that you can actually enter into the property market, right? So that's why during launch, it's a frenzy, right? But at the same time, you should have somebody to dare to guide you, to calm you down, to advise you like what is the right pricing, what is the safe pricing that you should be entering in, and what price you should basically just walk away. All right, so like for this instance, of course, the difference is not a lot, about 2.8 million to 2.831 million. So they were talking about maybe about 32,000 difference. But yet again, if you are going on a lower floor at a higher price, then basically we're helping the higher floor units sell better lah. Okay, yeah. So because in this situation, will you get a second floor or the third floor at just 1,000 or just slightly $1,000 different? Okay, so these are all the numbers that today when you're looking into balloting, you need to really kind of price it correctly. All right. So another example I want to show you is, of course, River Green. Okay, River Green is the top performer in this location because they have achieved close to 92% already. And if we start looking at their 2 bedrooms starting from 1.5 million, so the River Green strategy is one of the most unique, and perhaps that is also the reason why their sales has been the best. So even though they're starting from 1.5 million, you can see that none of their units for the 2 bedrooms are starting from 1.5. So maybe the developers are giving ang pao for all buyers, right? All the prices, actually, even the lower floor prices, starting from only, they are able to purchase a 1.455 and not from 1.5 million. So these are also definitely a benefit for the homeowners, because then you get a surprise, right? Wow, I thought that it's starting from 1.5. And then when you go there, it's 1.45, you will sure grab, because in your mind, you will see that, oh, there's a big discount. There's a discount for me. If I don't grab it, then I will be missing this out. So these are some of the strategies behind the developers' mind that they're playing. All right. So of course, for 3 bedroom, you can see that it's starting from 2.25 million. And if we start looking at their 3 bedroom, right? Wow, the pricing is so attractive, right? For the lower floors ones. All right, none of them actually hit exactly as 2.25 million. All of them are lower than 2.25 million even. All right, so this is also another strategy that we are seeing in the market. Again, it's all by different developers, right? So nobody knows how is it going to be done. And nobody will know that whether the developers are going to price the lower floor higher or the higher floors lower. So this is nobody knows, and you're basically guessing. Nobody is able to kind of project exactly what the developer is going to do until the booking day. So this is also the reason that we have seen even sometimes a per floor jump, it could be so high. So one of the developments in the east side about 1 year ago, I was shocked when I see a per floor jump that is $150,000. A jump of $150,000 per floor. Can you imagine if you are the one who bought the higher floor unit and the one how will you feel when you realize that the one floor below you is 150,000 cheaper? Okay, what will be your reaction? But you already buy. So this is why I always encourage every single one of you who are going into balloting, right, to always do your preparation. Be careful a little bit, careful a little bit. Over prepare yourself with pricing, because with pricing it gives us a very clear indication on what is the safe entry and how we should walk away with it if it's beyond the range. And this is what we do on the actual booking day as well. All right, so this is an example for Sky Holland. We pull out all the prices that is available during that day so that we are able to work with you as a purchaser, right, to understand how pricing works. What is the per floor level jump? If this stack versus A stack versus B stack, you know, is there a price difference or is it going to be the same? So which premium should we be paying for in terms of higher floor or lower floors? So we are going to do it like a battlefield, right? We will do every preparation ahead of time so that when we come to the crunch time of you selecting, right, you will have the full pricing information to do a selection as well. And that's where we are able to help you to determine which floor level would be maybe not so make sense. All right, like for example, just now when I shared with you the second floor and third floor unit, if today you know that the second floor unit is priced higher than the third floor, would you still want to choose a second floor unit? All right, so these are all some of the strategies that we help many of our clients in to just have a better understanding, a safer approach on what is the key element that you should be looking for in terms of pricing, and not just when you're there, you're fumbling up, you're guessing your way through, and you do not know what's happening. Okay, so I think this is extremely important. Next, I just want to give you a quick overview of the site plan. So the actual site plan, everything is out, and I think one of the key element of this development for River Modern, besides the river, is that the developer has also kind of placed the layout and the position of all the blocks to be a north-south facing. All right, so I think this is definitely something that, as a Singaporean, every one of us are very concerned whether our property will be facing the west sun or the morning sun, you know, that kind of arrangement. So I think this is a very good touch by the developer. And so these are all the layout and sizes that you can actually see. And what impressed me was they actually placed the 50-meter pool right in the center to give it a little bit more space, and with a big lawn area beside the tennis court, so that you can kind of enjoy the Kim Seng Park kind of idea as a space. Although at first when I look at this, I was like, hey, this is kind of a wasted space. You know, why can't you do your facilities or activities there? But I think where the Guaco Land, if you have seen their previous projects, they would like to incorporate a lot of landscaping. And with landscaping space, I think everyone buying there will have a different lifestyle altogether. All right, so this is a quick view of how the layout is going to be. So I want to kind of give you guys a quick overview about like how the 30 meters and 130 meters view is going to be like. Okay, so let me just show you the 30 meters view right now. Okay, so this is the River Modern at 30 meters view. So this is what you will see at this kind of level for a 30 meters drone view. Okay, in a short while we will see the 130 meters, so you can see how high you'll be. So of course, depending on where you are going for, if you are facing this side, this is where the river is. All right, you wouldn't be able to see much, but I think greenery is still better than a whole building in front of you. So there's definitely certain setback in this direction, which is facing the river. But if you are choosing the other stack, just do take note, this is also parcel C, which will definitely, right now is still under tender, and there will be definitely in front of you a property block. Okay, so how the developers are going to kind of siam the view for River Modern, because the developer also want to make sure that you get certain premium view, right? So how they're going to design it is still unknown. But as we have seen from even Nava Grove and Pine Tree, right, what they try to do is try to kind of support each other, so that win-win for every buyers, every developers, the sales will be very good. So let's see how Parcel C is going to be designed so that even when you are buying River Modern, there could be a chance where your view will not be 100% blocked by Parcel C. Okay, so let us wait and tell. So for 130 view, okay, so this is 130 meters. So this is Parcel C. Just take note in front of you. So this is kind of view that if you want for 130 meters, this is where you are. Okay, of course, the river view is where is the most iconic, and being the last plot for the river view, I think this is different lifestyle altogether. Okay, so if you're higher up, this is the kind of view that you will see. All right, so I will believe that for River Modern, the higher floor units for river facing will also be the first to be grabbed. Okay, so we have seen this trend moving on the entire river valley area, where the higher floor units are actually the ones that is mostly sought after, and the bigger units. So let us see whether River Modern bid at this kind of pricing from $2,800 plus per square foot, right? Would it also translate to higher floor units being sold first? Okay, so it was very interesting when we were looking at River Green, Promenade Peak, as well as Zion Grand, where we see how the sales are being done. And this also indicates that there's a shift in terms of buyers' behavior. And this is very important to you as a homeowner, because today, if you are still buying based on what you know, what you understand or what you have done before in the past, that strategies likely will not work in today's marketplace, because whatever that we're doing today is to future-proof our purchase for the future buyers, not us, not the past. All right, so something to take note of. All right, so moving forward, let us take a look at the entire two-bedroom layout, right? And I'm going to give you my take on which property layout that I find is the most ideal. So typically all the 4 layouts are not going to be too much of a difference. Okay, the only key consideration you must have is to take note that the 538 square feet unit, this is a 2-bed 1-bath. Okay, this is the only 2-bed 1-bath. And what you need to take note of, if let's say is your first entry as a stepping stone for property, and you want to take note that the balcony space is as such. All right, it's not a full balcony. So there's a kind of a ledge on the side. I believe that is purely for the design element. And the balcony is not your full balcony. So in a way, you kind of save space. But of course, if you intend to use a balcony for other usage, then that could be a disadvantage to you. So this is the only 2-bed 1-bath, and the rest are all the 2-bed 2-bath. And the type B2, okay, stack 6 is the only one that is the having a longer corridor for or walkway for your master room. So this is the other aspect that you want to take note of. And of course, for the other 2, they are typically not too much of a difference. They are all dumbbell layout, very conventional, very regular, very squarish, and they also have a full balcony space each. Okay, if you take a look. Yeah, so with this stack 8 and stack 9, basically they are not going to be too much difference, and that's also the reason why stack 9 has been done as a show flat unit, and they usually want to showcase the best. Okay, they want to showcase the best. And typically 2 bedrooms today for either layout, right? What is the main difference between A and B is that A, you get a C-shaped kitchen, whereas B, you get an L-shaped kitchen. So that is generally the main difference. In terms of dimension, layout, space, length, width, is all typical the same. And I believe for River Modern is very generous with a 3 meters 2-bedroom length, okay, in terms of your layout. And this is usually only be seen in 3 bedrooms. So now that you're getting a 2-bedroom and it's a dumbbell configuration, which means you have more space and the entire area is wider. So take note also, what Real Modern Guaco Land has done very, very efficiently due to harmonization is that they have created space. Let me just use a different color. They have created space for dining. Okay, so across all the units, you have an additional allocated space instead of your table just right smack in the center of the 2-bedroom, which is typically the other developments that we have seen happens. So Guaco Land has really done this development and the layout as well as the price right now that we know to sell. Okay, they are really putting this a lot of effort into this, and at $2,800 plus per square foot, yeah, right. This is something that I believe that we can definitely accept to look into this. Yeah. So of course, again, based on my previous sharing, is starting from price. Do your due diligence, not just jump into it thinking that all the prices will be at 2008. Every floor jump, it could be 10,000 to even 15,000. Let's see where the booking day is. So if you are kind of worried and confused, you do not know how to navigate yourself, reach out to us. We will be more than happy to actually guide you through on this. All right, so out of all this, if you ask me, I would also prefer a C-shaped kitchen. Okay, so they kind of give me a tuck-in kind of approach. Whether will I really enclose it here, I don't think there's a need. All right, but I do want to share with you one of the disadvantage of having kind of a tuck-in kind of kitchen is that, let me just clean this up a little bit so that you all can see better, right? So let me just give you an example. So because of how the layout is, right, the moment when you have a tuck-in kitchen, you have a kind of a very narrow entrance into your dining space. Okay, kind of quite a narrow one. And this gives you the illusion that you're kind of going through another space. So in terms of space planning, this may not be the best to give you the outlook when you enter into a 2-bedroom, right? So typically when we are looking at properties, we also like to enter the house with a wider kind of space. So this, even though from a layout, from a kitchen perspective, it depends on what you prioritize. Okay, if you prioritize the kitchen, you like a C shape, then this could be the one. But the other alternative, if you ask me, that I believe in terms of space, this one is only the outlook of space. You'll be quite shocked that 2 bed 1 bath is actually one of a choice if I want a wider space. Okay, because this has a better entrance into the entire living area, as well as the stack 6 unit as well. Okay, stack 6 unit as well. You have a wider entrance. So that gives the illusion and space planning that today when you're buying a 2 bedroom, we all know 2 bedroom is already smaller. How can we give the illusion of space that even if your guest comes over, they feel that it's not that small? All right, so this is some of my own recommendations that we have seen multiple designs and multiple layouts. All right, next we want to kind of go into 3 bedroom. Of course, 3 bedroom, we have different configuration. We have the premium with the compact. And for the layout specificity, right, you can, we will just take a look at some of the show flat layout first at 1098. Of course, they want to showcase the best. So 1098 can only compare to, let me just put A, and then you can compare to B. Okay, these two are the ones. So one important part is that what they have done here is they provided you a landscape layout. Okay, what do we mean by landscape layout? Meaning today, with 5.5 meters, right, you are able to fit in your dining and living. And this is the exact kind of layout that I have in my property right now. Okay, and at 1109, okay, let's just use a show flat unit as an example. All right, so at 5.5 meters, you're having 36 square meters of space, which is very generous. And typically in the past, what happens is whenever you have this kind of landscape layout, your balcony is usually very, very big, huge, I would say. But because of harmonization, right, without the aircon latch, what they also have considered is they would rather have more livable area, and they keep their balcony only 9 square meters, which is just like a room space. But do take note, the width is not very deep, so it's not a big balcony. It's sizable for you to actually place your cabinets, even place a kind of an island standing table for your breakfast counter. So there's space for you to use it. But I think more importantly is that today we are able to have a TV console, your sofa, and then you have your dining, just nice. Okay, so my current place layout is like this, and that's why when I look at 5.5 meters, I know that it is very, very generous. So the other take note for the premium 3 bedroom you must take note of is that they have this arrangement, they call it the flexi. Okay, the flexi area. So when you go to the show flat, disclaimer, this is the first time that you'll hear from me because none of you will be able to view the show flat yet. When you go to see the show flat, this is not there. Okay, so they will show you a very nice island in the center of the kitchen. And to show you that how wide the space is. So please be careful whenever you see your show flat. Not everything presented is going to be the same, all right? Because a lot of the design are all ID treatments, right? Yeah. So when you go to see your show flat, you will see an island there, and it makes a lot of sense, and everybody will go wow until you really dive into the layout, because now you have a very long kitchen, L shape, okay, very comfortable, and that's why they put a island here. I think the island is the other direction. They put an island here. Wow, so nice, like a dry kitchen. But then remember, it is a flexi. So what is a flexi? Flexi means that you can use it for whatever purposes lah. So it's kind of odd, right? That means your entrance into the kitchen is actually here. Okay, then you go to your L-shaped kitchen. And if you really want to enclose this up, then this becomes a helper's room or storeroom. Really depends on how you see it. Then the entire layout for the kitchen becomes a little bit like, okay, that's it. Okay, so they did not put in your yard and your WC here, where else they put it outside instead. So this is the main configuration for the 3-bedroom premium types. So again, it really depends on how you see 3 bedrooms, whether the premium ones is something that I want to go for. And I believe today, the smaller 3 bedrooms should do better. Okay, so let me explain to you why do I see that. Ultimately, yes, I agree the size of the of the premium is ideal, landscape layout. All these are perks that whether you can do or do without is really entirely how your living lifestyle is, right? But from a logical perspective, even if let's say I'm getting a 1,109 square feet unit, the key thing is that I have my bath, okay, which can double up as my guest toilet or my helper's toilet. The flexi, even if I want to enclose it up, it becomes a storage area, a helper's room. The key thing is that I may not have a yard. Okay, I don't have a proper yard that I can do my laundry is. So you still do it at a balcony. So with this flexi and this kind of kitchen configuration, I don't know. All right. I have my doubts in terms of functionality. But again, Singaporeans are very creative. They are able to do things with the space that they get. Yeah, so for the 3 bedrooms, personally, I prefer the compact sizes. And no price guessing which one you think that I find that is the better layout. If you have been following me for a while, you know my top choice nowadays whenever I talk about 3 bedroom units, right? So put in the comment, out of all these 6 3 bedrooms, which one do you think I love it the best in terms of layout, functionality, as well as value? But value we do not know because we only know it's starting from 2008, right? All right, so drum roll, if whoever actually commented correctly, I may reach out to you and we can have a chit chat somewhere or another. All right, so my favorite, my own choice, personal choice, is the 893 square feet unit. Ta-da! This is my top choice. Okay, so why is this a top choice? Of course, there must be a reason. So I've been always seeing how 3 bedroom units are with the long walkway, with the extra large balcony space, as well as a very long walkway in from the entrance, right? So what this 893 square feet gives me is space. All right, again, I'm very much into space. So what I prefer is that they are a dumbbell area. All right, so the dumbbell kind of 3 bedroom, which is something that I always find that this is the better kind of configuration nowadays for harmonized projects. And because I value the entrance, my widely entrance goes into my dining immediately. So I have the luxury of space during my planning of my ID. I have more than enough wide range because this is 3 meters, all right, 3 meters wide. So it doesn't eat into visually the space that I see. So it's not like you go into a narrow corner, a narrow entrance, and then it opens up, right? So this one, the moment when you enter, you straight away, you can feel the 3 meters space in this location, in this development. So of course, there's always some complication that people say that, oh, your kitchen is kind of open, all right? Open. So again, what you prioritize, okay? If you find that open kitchen is still normal, you're not going to walk here, then go ahead. Again, a lot of people, they always comment like a 3 bedroom, I need to have windows. So this is the part where this property at 893 do not have. All right, so the kitchen don't have the window, the toilets also don't have the window. So if that is your concern, then perhaps 893 may not be your preferred choice. Okay, then you have to choose something else. But again, if you're somebody like me who values space and you want to kind of maximize all your floor plate so that the space is wider at 893, then this could be a choice. Alternatively, if you are looking at really like window for kitchen, I have to disappoint you a little bit. All there are 3 bedroom compact, all don't have window one. Bathroom also don't have window, all don't have. So this is something you need to acknowledge. This one also don't have. So if you're a window lover, you prepare to pay a premium for the window, then your only choice will be stack 4. So again, we cannot fully 100% checklist every single thing that we want in the property. There will definitely be hits and misses, but doing this video is also, by you following, is also to give you an indication like what can or cannot be done. So if you want windows, you want the open space for ventilation, whichever that you're thinking of, then this is the only layout at 904 stack 4 unit. Why? Because they have done the balcony that flips into the living hall as well as a kitchen. So you can open it up and you can even do your wet kitchen if you want at the balcony or as you want to do some cooking, or you can use it as more of a storage, a pantry, additional cabinet space. Yeah. So if you are somebody who okay with your balcony leading to your kitchen and your living area, so then this will be the only choice, because this is the only one that you will have kitchen going out into the balcony with ventilation. So, but the bathroom are all the same, no window as well. So this is something I believe Real Modern may be a little bit concerning for some of the buyers, especially if you're a 3-bedroom, likely you're a young family or family of two kids. Then some of all this ventilation, you need to kind of work around with it. Mechanical ventilation still works, if you ask me, but somehow we are quite typical in Asians, right? So we still like the natural wind. We still like to kind of air it so that we get the ventilation. Yeah. So this is something that I believe is worth to consider. The only thing that if you really are just what do you call it, window lover, then you have to go for the premium, because even their kitchen, they have the window, bathroom, they got window, and everything is being taken care of. All right, so again, it really depends on what you prioritize in terms of 3-bedroom. You know my choice. It may not be yours. This is my own personal preference. That I believe, if let's say you are looking for kind of a space, the 893 square feet will be more sellable properties even in the future. All right, so next, I want to go into the 4-bedroom comparison. So 4-bedroom, I think quite straightforward. Whatever you need should be there. Simple as that. So let us take a look at the show flat unit at 1830, massive. All right, I think they are doing a new configuration. Because why? Because in River Valley area, if you are talking about the older developments nearby, they are all very big floor plate. And with that big floor plate, right, it allows the kind of space that you get when you're entertaining guests, when you're housing people. And in River Valley, imagine you're staying on a high floor facing the river at a 4-bedroom space. Wow, I think that is what we call luxury. So nothing to comment or complain about for the 4-bedroom, because it's so freaking big. 1,890 square feet. And you have a 6.3 meters wide landscape layout. Okay, you have your own carved out dining area as well. So this is not for the faint-hearted again. Okay, not for the faint-hearted, because the 4-bedroom pricing is starting from what? 4.5, 4.6 million onwards. Okay, so if you have the door, which I believe if you're looking at Real Valley, you definitely have, then this kind of dream house, you may be able to stay there for easily beyond 15 years to start a family, to kind of future-proof your purchase, so as you are able to perhaps go to the primary school nearby, which is just walking distance, 3 minutes, and you have a lifestyle location where you know the location will not change. It will only get better and better over time. All right, with Canning Hill Pier coming out, we have so many different developments in the Robinson Key area. So you're right smack in the River Valley. You're so close to each other. So we're seeing the entire rejuvenation of River Valley soon in this area. And I think it's worth to future-proof. It may be a little bit tough at the beginning because of the financing and all, but it will work out eventually. Especially, it's a very rare 1,830 square feet unit. So if you are kind of a little bit worried about your installments and all, which I don't think so. If you're looking at 4-bedroom, price is never an issue. Okay. But if you have somebody who just want to go for a 1464, I think this is also very functional. Of course, everything kind of shrink because you have almost 400 square feet of space that is not there. But ultimately, it's still very functional as a 4-bedroom. And I think this is where I always enjoy looking at Kwakulan's development, because it's very functional. Okay, what do I mean with functional? Which is some of the developments, they try to discount without discounting. So what do I mean by this? So let me just draw you an attention, right? So this is 1-bedroom. This is 2-bedroom. Okay, I just lay it out so that it's easier to see, right? Then you have your junior master, and then you have the master bedroom. Okay, so 4 rooms. So okay, so follow through me. Then we have what? master room, bath 1A. All right. You have your junior master, B, bath. You have C, bath. All right. And what else? You have your 4WC. So this is typical that today when you are looking at a proper development for 4 bedrooms, right? Ideally, you still want to have a 3+1. I don't call it a 4 because your WC is kind of mid spacing, right? But what they have done is that you still have 2 units to share 1 bath, which is extremely important. Okay, so a lot of developments that we have seen in in OCR, they only have just 1 toilet for 3 rooms, which is, I don't know, I don't think it's livable, right? But people are buying it because they may not take that small areas into consideration. But when you're actually living in that 4 bedroom and every single morning you have 3 rooms to rush for that 1 toilet, it's going to be crazy lah. So the livability wise may be a little bit concerned. So I believe the 4 bedroom is going to be a very, very huge take-up rate, because how Guacoland has done this is that the size is very comfortable, the livability of it, how human beings function on a daily basis has been well thought of. And for their 4 bedrooms, they even have the proper household shelter, which is your storage area. They have the walk-in wardrobe for the master room as well. So every space has been very well taken care of in this configuration. So good job there for Guacoland, okay, for creating such a very nice 4 bedroom comparison that it will only let people drool when they have the 4.6 million and above price point to buy into this property, which I know many of you have. All right, so if today you are kind of looking at a better way of engaging your properties, not just about guessing your way into property, then of course what we like to also help you with is to kind of disqualify the 90% of the launches out there. They may not fit into a budget, may not fit into a timeline, may not even fit into an objective, because today a lot of homeowners, they are just deciding, they are guessing their way into the property. All right, so what we do differently is that even before you buy a property, we want to help you to map your next 3 moves, so that you kind of know that today you're not just buying a property. Maybe this property is going to be a stepping stone for you next. And that's how you can climb the property ladder as we guide. And then we want to do an audit, a new launch audit for you 100% to see how we can disqualify 90% of the properties that don't fit into the different investment grade filters that we have. And when we filter it off, if it's not good enough, the filter scores came in very lousy, then why are we still going into this property? Then you are basically buying based on emotion and not based on logic. All right, so that's why even when we go in for the balloting, there's a strategy behind the scene. All right, like just now when I shared with you how starting price is going to affect, how a different height floor level is going to affect. All these things are important for you as a homeowner to think through before you even make your first move. And today it's not just about buying, my friend. It's also about how this property, in terms of the price point, are you able to exit in the next 4 or even 6 years midterm basis. Because today, if you are just buying based on what you can afford, then you may be in trouble selling it in future when every properties, especially in River Valley area, is going to turn into a supply crunch. Okay, so there's a lot of supply going into the place, and in the next 4 to 6 years, you are just one of them. So if your property is not priced sensitively, right, how are you going to sell in future with so much competition in the future? All right, so this is something that we bring you through, and that's also one of the key things that when we are guiding you is to cover these 4 elements. Very important: your affordability, how we do your unit selection, how the per floor strategy is going to be, and what are the best case units that we should be exploring way before the selection. And most importantly is, what if the prices come to a certain level, a certain benchmark that the developer launch that is just don't make sense anymore, and we will be giving you what is a comfortable walkaway price that you should be looking at. Okay, so this is very important for every single one of you who are looking into new launch, not just rural modern, because there are so many different developments coming out, right? But every single time we always see the same mistake repeated again and again. So how the process is going to be is that we will definitely want to first of all run through a consult with you to kind of run your next 3 moves using your finances to see whether how this property is going to be safe for you, how the risk we can actually lower it down, so that when we move forward and we plan your next three moves, right, this property becomes also a stepping stone. And of course, then then we are going to help you make a VVIP kind of a registration to see the show flat together with us. That's where we will bring you on a tour. And if we find that the development is something that you are going for, then we will register an interest and we wait for the e-balloting, then the physical booking. So these are the things that we will guide you through. And on that actual day, not even actual day, before the actual day, we will already start how we are going to help you overly prepare yourself based on pricing, based on your finances. What are the key things that you all should take note of, which facing, which floor level that we should even discount and not even consider. So we will guide you through a very strict process, so that on the actual day during the selection, you will not be overwhelmed, you will not be confused by whatever is going on. We are going to tackle this very strategically and very calmly. All right, so buying a property is never about frenzy, it's not able to rush in. But if you are able to overly prepare yourself, then you will know how to decide on the property instead of guessing your way through. So if whatever that I share with you in this video makes a lot of sense, and you really have been chasing new launches for many years and nobody is out there just to guide you through this process so that you can decide to buy a new launch, then perhaps you want to scan the QR code, because not only just River Modern, there's so many other developments coming out. And so the question is, will you get stuck getting the wrong property, or will you be able to move forward with the herd later on in the resale market? All right, so this is Coach Edmund, and if today you find that this video is really useful for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, so that every single week when we are doing our videos and giving you educational materials, teaching you different strategies and how Singapore property should be seen moving forward, then you want to also just turn that on, because then you'll be getting notification of whenever we do our videos every single week. All right, if not, scan the QR code so that we can kind of guide you through and let you have a glimpse of what we see as a homeowner, as an investor ourselves, who are very much still in the marketplace doing new launches. All right, cheers.